Welcome to part 2 of Project Stormbird. In this episode we're going to go through cutting the blue foam, gluing it all together, as well as building up the rock face and how to fill the gaps and sort of tie them all together, as you can see there in that shot. For this, what you're going to need is your template that we went through last time, a pen, some blue foam or just insulation foam on the hot wire cutter. This hot wire cutter was quite cheap. I think it cost me 20, maybe £25 on eBay, and the blue foam as well. Start off by drawing around your template. Put the smooth side of the foam up and the rough side down, so the rough side is glued onto the MDF base, and then just cut it out on the hot wire cutter. This is obviously speed up, it doesn't go this quick normally. I had to use 2 layers of the blue foam as it wasn't quite high enough, and then trim it down so it was flush with the top of the cliffs. Simply place the piece on, use the edge of your cliff as your marker, sort of draw around it, get your idea, and then flip it up on its end and run it through the hot wire cutter. I use this Gorilla Glue to stick it all together. It pretty much grabs instantly, and this here is about 30 minutes after it's been stuck. And as you can see, you can go in, work on it, and it's all rock solid. About 24 hours before it's fully cured. The cork I got from Amazon is for a reptiles vivarium or terrarium, whatever you call them. It was about 25-30 quid. And to cut it, I use a variety of different saws. This one's quite good because it's got wide teeth, quite coarse teeth on it. And as you can see, the shavings that you get off quite coarse chunks of cork. So keep hold of those because they're good for putting around the bottom of the base. There's loose stones at the bottom. I also use a fine tooth saw just for a neater cut, as well as your normal hobby knife for smaller little cuts that you need to make. Start off, break it into little chunks and try and match up with the layer underneath. As you see here, I try to find a bit that's sort of the same pattern on it as the one before, and think ahead because I want this to curve over, so start playing with the shape that you want it to go in. To glue it, simply super glue it down and press nice and firm and hold it in place. You may want to use super glue accelerant here just to get it going, as it doesn't always stick straight away because it's quite porous, so a bit of super glue accelerant helps it along. And then it's just a case of finding loads of little bits like this, try and matching up the pattern and just go around the whole model and start building it up. You can see I've done around the steps there as well. If you are putting anything on the side of it, make sure you don't glue them down, so you can build up the rocks. I'm going to paint them dragons separate, the lions separate. So, and here it is, pretty much all in place. Just loads of little chunks glued together, trying to keep the patterns on the cork quite similar. So just blending it together with the milliput as much. And to put the milliput in, all I'm doing here to fill these gaps and try and blend the rocks together is mix 50-50 milliput and just pick it into manageable pieces and just stuff it into all the little nooks and crannies that you've left from when you join them together with super glue. Also, if there's any big voids in the cork that you don't like, you can fill it up with this as well. It's literally going around the model, filling it all in, just stuff it with your fingers. You may want your fingers slightly damp for this bit just so it doesn't stick to your fingers and it actually sticks to the rock or the cork. And then going with your tools, this round shaped one's quite good for this because you can sort of blend it to the seams in the rock. Don't worry about getting any texture at this point because we're going to go back and do that in a minute. All we want in here is to get everything lined up nice and neat and cover all the little cracks, as you can see here. For the texture, I just grab another piece of cork and just press it into the milliput that you've already put in the holes, and it gives you the same sort of texture as the surrounding cork by using the actual cork to do it. Works well. And then it's just a case of going around the whole model and filling up any gaps you've got and going in there and smooth it out with your thumb first or your tools, and then go in with your cork and try and match it. Again, I'll always try and get a piece of cork with a pattern that matches the rock that I'm pushing, so it's quite a coarse pattern on the rock. Get a coarse piece of cork. If it's quite a smooth pattern like you can see on that bulge there, I have a smooth piece of cork to press into it to get there. Try and match the patterns as best you can. And as you can see here, that's all the gaps filled down the side. And I've also built it up down the stairs as well and matched it in the stairs so it looks like the steps are actually built into the rock face. Quite a simple technique, but It's very effective, especially once it's been painted. And here it is, all finished off, everything glued together. That'll need a bit of cleaning up around the back, but probably took me about a day to put all that cork on and put all the milliput in the creases and get it all sorted. Here's a couple of pictures. As always, if anyone's got any questions, feel free to get hold of me on Instagram or Facebook, or even in the comments below @FellHanded. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see any future episodes, make sure you subscribe and click that bell. Thanks for watching. Cheers.